Alright guys, we are back. So you should hopefully have a ruler, a round utensil, and then your sketchbook. So have you guys open to the sketching section please, and then set up your sketchbook horizontally. So again, open to the front of your sketchbook where you keep all your sketches, and then open your sketchbook up horizontally, so the long way, and then we're going to build some three-dimensional shapes. So right away, I'm going to have you guys place your ruler in the middle of your sketchbook. So if you look at the screen, I'll do that too as well. So place your ruler in the middle of your sketchbook, and we're going to draw a horizontal line. So we're going to draw a horizontal line. That will give us our horizon line, so that we have a place in which to start. I'm going to draw a horizontal line right here. So I'll give you guys a second to do that. So again, draw a horizontal line, so going side to side, aka left to right, in the middle of your sketchbook. And then as soon as you are done with that, we're going to place a little dot right in the middle of that line. That's going to represent our vanishing point. So that's the point that all of our lines will converge to. So I'm going to draw a dot right in the middle, and that will be the point that all of our lines will converge to. So that is how we will make these shapes look three-dimensional. So just a reminder, guys, as things get closer to this point, they're going to get smaller in size, and as things get further away from that point, so that things that are closest to the edges will be larger, in other words, and the things that are closer to that point, so more centered, closer to the inside, will be smaller. So what we'll do, just to get this started, we're going to draw a 2 by 2 inch box above that point. So we're going to draw a 2 by 2 inch box. So we'll draw a box right above this. Let me get this thing set up. Make this 2 inches directly above my vanishing point here. So 2 by 2 will make this thing. Okay, let me move this out the way. So you should have a square, essentially, that is 2 by 2 inches, so 2 inches tall, 2 inches wide. So again, you should have a square that is 2 inches tall and then 2 inches wide. And so what we'll do now, class, is we'll connect to every side that we can see. So every part that's closest to that vanishing point. So again, we'll connect to the parts that are closest to the vanishing point. So in this case, we would connect to bottom left because that's closer, and bottom right. So we'll connect to those edges, but we will not connect to top left and top right. So I'm going to draw a line connecting to bottom left here, and then I'll draw a line connecting to bottom right. And again, we do not connect to top left and top right because that's on the opposite side. So we're only going to connect to the parts that are closest. I'm just going to trace this so you can see a little more clearly here. But again, we only want to connect to those areas that are closest. So here's the deal. One of our rules is that the back follows the front. So the part that we're connected to is a horizontal edge. So that edge goes from left to right. That's the front side of this shape. Well, we got to make this shape look three-dimensional. And currently this shape is above your vanishing point, meaning it's above your viewpoint. So if a shape is above you, you can see the bottom of it. So what we'll do is I'm going to have you guys just skip down a little bit. So maybe about a half of an inch works probably fine, or you can measure it out if you want, but it's not a requirement. So if I put this here, I can make this roughly about a half of an inch, or you can go a little bit larger, a little bit smaller. Any of those will work perfectly fine. And then I'm going to draw a horizontal line. And the reason why is according to our rule, the back follows the front. So if this front line here is horizontal, this back line is horizontal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to trace that in black so you can see a little more cleanly. And what we have now is the front side of the shape and then the bottom of the shape. So this is now a shape that has form, meaning it's three-dimensional. We have the height, the width, and also the depth, meaning how deep the shape goes. So again, now we have a three-dimensional shape. So basically, we always follow the same rules. We set up the horizon line, place the vanishing point on that horizon line. We draw the front of the shape, aka the face of the shape, and we connect to the parts that are closest. So in this case, we only connect to bottom left and bottom right because those are the close sides. So what we'll do now, class, is we're going to make a shape in the bottom left corner of your sketchbook. So bottom left corner, let me move my ruler on down here. So I'm going to draw a 3-inch box. So this will be 3 by 3, and we're going to make it a little bit larger. And the reason why is because it is, in this case, further away from our vanishing point. And that vanishing point represents the distance. So that means this will be closer to you as a viewer. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Again, this will be 3 by 3. So 3 inches. Flip this thing. So again, you're going to draw this 3 by 3. 3 inches tall, 3 inches wide. Let's kind of move this out the way here. All right, here's the deal, class. So we connect to the parts that are closest. We still follow the same rules. So in this case, we would connect to top left. That is closer to our point. We would connect to top right. That is closest to the point. And then we also connect to bottom right. So as I do this, think about what we connect to bottom left. So think about would you connect to that bottom left shape? Well, the answer is going to be a big fat no. And the reason why is that is opposite of our vanishing point. So we only connect to the parts that are closest. As you connect your shapes, I'm going to trace this in black. So again, it's easier for you to view. So that's going to give me my front side of the shape here. And then when I cut this off, remember, same rules apply, guys. So the back side will follow the front. So I'm going to cut off the side of my shape. Again, go about maybe about an inch in width, half an inch, anything around that works perfectly fine. So the back follows the front. So if the front side is vertical, in this case, the front side is vertical over here, then the back side will be vertical. So we'll follow the exact same rules. And if you look at the top side is horizontal. So that means the back side is also horizontal. So again, we're going to follow the exact same rule. The cool thing about perspective, class, is once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty easy. And the reason why is because we have that set of rules, and then we just keep following those rules essentially over and over. No matter the angle of your shape, no matter the size of your shape, no matter where it's placed, the rules are all the same. So, oops, let me back that up for a second. So the rules will always be the same. There we go. And then just like any other drawing you work on, technically once you draw the real thing, you don't need the guides those parts we connected in red are technically guidelines. So once the shape is really drawn, technically you can erase them. I will leave them so you can see them to keep working off of, but you would eventually erase them. So we're going to make one more shape top right, and the shape top right will be very similar to the shape top left because again the rules are the same. So that shape bottom left was below our viewpoint, so we could see the top of it. It's also to the side of our viewpoint, so we can see the side of it. So that again, we're still going to follow the same rules for every shape we make. So I'm going to have you guys make a similar shape top right. So we'll just make a rectangle instead of a square. So we'll make this shape we'll go 3 inches wide and 1 inch tall. So in this case, we'll go 3 inches wide and 1 inch tall. So we'll make this in the top right corner. The shape will be in the top right corner. It will be, let's go here, 3 inches wide. I think that's what I said. 3 inches wide and then 1 inch tall. Okay, so once that shape is drawn, again, guys, we follow the same rules. So we connect to whatever side is closest. So this shape, the position of this shape is if it is to the right of your viewpoint and also above your viewpoint. So think about if a shape was above you, you could see the bottom of that shape. So let's connect to the parts that are closest. So I'm going to connect to top left. That's a big old yes. Bam. And then I'll connect to bottom left. And then I'll also connect to a bottom right. And the reason why we do that, again, is because we connect to whatever's closest. So same rules. Probably tired of hearing me saying that, but I want you to get used to it. So always connect to whatever's closest. In this case, we don't connect to top right. That's further away. And then we cut this thing off. So if you look at the side here, this left side is vertical, so that in the front, so the back side is vertical. You look at the bottom side is horizontal in the front, so the back side will be also horizontal. So we follow those rules. Trace this so it's easier for you to see the finished product. And once you technically get rid of the guides, you should have a three-dimensional shape. And that's all perspective is, guys. You set up your horizon line and your vanishing point, and you just connect your shapes to that point. So we always draw the front side, and then we connect to it. So what I'm gonna have you guys do for your individual practice is you should have an example sheet. There's several shapes above your horizon line and then several shapes below. So there's very basic cubes. You can keep practicing cubes above and below your point just to get a feel for it. Or you can try some more complicated shapes and connect them to your point. Either way, you're going to work on filling up the space, so AKA balancing out the space until the end of the class period. So that is a requirement and that's the expectation that you are working until the end of class. You're going to keep adding shapes until you create balance. Again, you may draw cubes or rectangular prisms and just to continue learning the process with basic shapes, or you can try more complicated shapes if you feel very comfortable. So tomorrow, we'll practice setting up what you think you want your product to look like in regards to making three-dimensional shapes. But today is just a practice to continue getting familiar with it. And like any other practice session, as long as you choose to practice, you'll get 5 points, and I'll check it when I come in tomorrow. All right, guys, have a great day.